Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're just looking again at our alt season, and we will follow some of the different coins that are moving. So let me just post this a few different places, and then we will jump in. All right. All right. So here we are. We have a lot of things coming in hot. We have a 48 cent ADA. Not only that, how's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully everyone's doing well tonight. Is everyone enjoying themselves some alt season? And don't you dare say this is an alt season. I saw someone the other day comment on one of my posts saying it wasn't alt season. I'm just like, what are you waiting for? Like what needs to happen? Obviously the dominance has been trending down. I mean, we're not at like 30% or anything, but it's still some level of alt season. Oh my gosh. I mean, if you don't consider it to be alt season, maybe you're just holding coins that aren't worth anything, and you're just misunderstanding what alt season is. Alt season can last a while. And I mean, to be fair, for those who say that, things aren't like up 100x or something, a lot of coins are up 100x if you think about it, right? I mean, some of them are. By the way, I don't know if you guys want to watch Link, but we're at 2646. So who remembers when I was telling you guys like a month and a half ago it was at $8 and $9, and I said it's too risky not to. No, it was at $11. I said it's too risky not to hold, and then it dumped to like $8 or $9, and I got a lot of flack from people saying, "Oh, but you said it was too risky not to hold." Again, we don't know. We can't say about short-term moves, but here we are, 6 weeks later, and it's up more than 3x. So again, as I've said before, Link, in my opinion, is too risky not to hold. Now, with that said, and I understand that newcomers might not like me saying this, and frankly, I understand that a lot of them are pissed off that I say it so frequently. I'm not accumulating, okay? I'm just not. The purpose of accumulating for years, right? So you have two groups of people, right? You have two groups of people. You have the group of people that have been here for years, that were here through the bear market. Leave a comment if you were here during the bear market. So you have the people that were here during the bear market, and then you have the people that join just when you get into the mania mode. And so the people who were here during the bear market are more than happy to watch things fly. They're not necessarily going to go chase because they already have their positions locked in. And then you have the people that are coming in now that don't want to hear other people say that things are somewhat extended. And the dangerous part is that, if you are new and you decide to hold off, then you might look and the prices just keep going up day after day after day. But again, it's gambling, and there's not, if you want to do that, you do that, right? I mean, this is not financial advice. You're more than welcome to do whatever you want. But the purpose of the channel is to identify accumulation phases, and we can't have a constant accumulation phase forever. I mean, if everything is an accumulation phase, then nothing is. Right? I mean, like, you're going to get 80% drops in the market in the future, at least for a lot of altcoins. So, you know, if you always just end up buying, then you get stuck at some point with altcoin bags that are down 80 to 90%. By coming into the market when the risk is low and no one's talking about it, then whenever it does start pumping, you can just sit back and ride it out for a while and maybe take profits along the way. So anyways, just wanted to give my tidbit on that. And then I also saw another comment where someone was saying, you know, all these other YouTubers are giving us their, you know, their daily picks and stuff. You know, this is not I mean, well, I mean, I don't want to say, I don't want to cuss, right? But I mean, it's not a garbage coin casino, right? This channel is not a garbage coin casino where we just shill a different altcoin every single day and then people go chase it. Because I'll tell you, these people can be right for a long time, and then one day they're gonna show you their top 5 for the day, and that's when the market's gonna crash, and then you're not gonna be able to contact them, or they're never gonna respond to oh, why is the coin down, you know, 85%. So you have to be careful with this stuff. It's easy to say coins are going to go up because, again, momentum is a hell of a thing for any market. And when you see this happening, the probability on any given day is that a lot of these coins will continue trending upwards. It's alt season. It's a bull market. It's what it does. The problem is when does it stop? And if you keep throwing in money day after day after day, then eventually it's not going to work out. Just some words of wisdom. Another thing too, I was talking about this earlier. If you find yourself, and I'm just telling you this from my own personal experience, so take it for what you want. If you find yourself trying to constantly convince your friends to go buy crypto right now, it almost certainly will not work out in your favor, okay? And let me explain what I mean. So, if you convince your friend to buy crypto, then it's basically almost certainly not going to work out well for you. And the reason is because if they come in and they buy it and the price goes up, the chances that they cash out for profits is relatively low. What's more likely to happen is they get swept up into the greed and FOMO because they haven't really prepared for this type of a market, and they just keep throwing more money in every single day. They just keep throwing more money in because they keep seeing their portfolio valuations go up, so why shouldn't they? And then eventually it does crash, and then they blame you. Okay, so there's just so many scenarios where it doesn't work out. The only scenario where it could work out is if they literally put the money in, and if the coin valuation goes up, and then they just cash out the profits and call it a day. But how many people are actually going to do that? So in my own experience, and again I say this from my own personal experience of trying to get friends in crypto in the past at the wrong times, and then it goes down, and then you have to live with the fact that, you know, you're the reason they put money in. So just just my own experience. Anyways, all right, so we are looking at I think this is we've been putting in new all-time highs for Link. So smash up the like button if you hold Link. I can't believe I just said smash up the like button. ADA is around 48 cents. DOT is around $20.5. So I mean, they're all doing well, right? I mean, a lot of the altcoins that we follow on the channel are doing fairly well. Uni is doing well too. It's over $20. What else? Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum's at 1630. We talked earlier about Ethereum. You know, if it continues to yeah, I gotta stop. I gotta maybe I need to take a break for a few days if I'm saying smash up the like button. I actually caught myself. I was like, did I just say that? Maybe you should dislike the video because I said that. It'll teach me a lesson. Anyways, Ethereum, as we said, if it continues to emulate Bitcoin, okay, which is, we did a video on this earlier. Once Bitcoin got to its prior all-time high, we know that Bitcoin basically did like a 2x, right? And so we want to be somewhat pragmatic about things and not necessarily say that Ethereum will go up 2x, but it certainly is not out of the question. Okay. Now, one of the things you need to be aware of, and I'll say this now, in my experience, and I think this is something that I've lived through so many times, so I will relay this information to you, and I've seen it happen like at least 2 times, maybe 3, depending on how like what your threshold is for a dump, right? I mean, like, it depends on what you consider a dump to be. But in my experience, and I'll say this to everyone here listening, Ethereum, if this is a kind of like and I imagine we will have some type of spectacular blow off top, right? And again, it doesn't mean it's the end of the market cycle per se. It's not the end of the market cycle, but at some point we will have a nice correction before continuing to trend up, right? I mean, the altcoin market, I'm not talking about Bitcoin, okay? I'm talking about basically everything besides Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin is going to have its own corrections too, but what I'm referring to right now, altcoins will have they will likely have a decent sized correction sometime in the next 2 or 3 months, okay? And it's not going to be pretty, and it's going to make a lot of people sick to their stomachs. But if you want some idea of when it might happen, what I've found in my own experience, again, is that Ethereum will be the indicator, okay? So I know we talk about Bitcoin a lot. Bitcoin is the indicator for the markets, but if Bitcoin stays constant, okay, and by the way, you can basically kick the can down the road on a lot of this stuff if Bitcoin puts in a new all-time high, right? If Bitcoin goes to 42K and then goes to 45K and then 50K, then we're essentially kicking the can down the road, and the same analysis will apply, but we're just kicking the can down the road, okay? If Bitcoin does not put in a new all-time high over the next few weeks, and you have to be cautious because the dollar is bouncing the same level it bounced at in 2018, so be cautious. If Bitcoin puts in new highs, and again, we're kicking the can down the road, what you need to look for Ethereum, typically, Ethereum can end the altcoin alt season. Ethereum will end it, typically. Look for the blow-off peak for Ethereum. That is what I would suggest, okay? If Ethereum is basically putting in its blow-off peak, right, whatever it ends up being, whether it's like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, whenever that happens, in the short term, again, we're not talking about the entire market cycle, we're just talking about this bubble right here. Once you see that happen, and maybe a good indicator could be, if you see it, so far we see Ethereum go up, like a $100 a day, $200 a day sometimes. If you see a day where Ethereum goes up like $500, $700 in a day or something like that, it's a really good reason to be very cautious at that point. I'm not going to say what you should do if you want to take profits or not, or if you just want to stop putting money and throwing money into the market. But in my own experience, and I'm not trying to scare anyone, I just want people to be aware of the different outcomes, because I've been through this so many times that everyone's so greedy at times like this, and then you fast forward a couple months, and then the market sentiment has changed a lot, and everyone's super upset. You likely will have an opportunity at some point in the not so distant future where you think, the market goes higher than you probably would have imagined. Okay, it probably goes higher than you probably would have imagined, and you kind of get into this mentality that it won't stop. It's just going to keep going up day over day over day. And you think, well, why shouldn't it? I mean, it's basically what it's done, right? It's basically what it's done for in January and so far in February, business as usual, right? I mean, it's almost weird if you wake up and you don't see everything up 10-20%, right? I mean, then it's like, all right, I guess I'll sleep today, or maybe I should actually eat some lunch today, when you don't see this. But I'm just telling you guys, from my own experience, Ethereum will be the indicator to temporarily halt the altcoin market, and this could go on for weeks. It could go on for months. This could last another two months potentially. We've seen Ethereum, to just give you an idea, we've seen Ethereum rally, starting in January and not really give up until, I mean, here it paused in March. And you might not think this was a significant dump, but Ethereum wasn't as bad as some of the coins. Some of the coins were really bad, but this was about a 25% dump. This one wasn't that bad. This one over here was a little bit worse from the peak, anyways, because it went all the way up here and then it crashed about 53%, and then it crashed more than that because later it trended all the way down. If we just take it from, say, this point to this low, it was 53%, but if you take it from this point down to here, it was 61% at the bottom of the wick. But I mean, basically a 50% drop in the market. So 50% might not, if you've been accumulating for the entire bear market, you might not care about 50%, right? I mean, like, that's just whatever. You're fine just riding the market cycle out. You don't really give a about those types of moves. But my point is I'm more so speaking to the people that are just FOMOing into the market every single day, throwing more money and more money at 10 different altcoins, and every single day they wake up and their portfolio's up. If you want some indication as to when it might stop, I would be personally looking for the blow off Ethereum short-term peak, just the short-term peak. Not market cycle peak, because I don't think Ethereum is close to its complete market cycle peak. I think it should trend well up into the 4 figures. It might even get to 5 figures, maybe. I'll probably be out of the market by that point for the most part. I'm sure I'll still have a little bit of Ethereum. But look for that. Look for the Ethereum blow off top. And again, we saw something similar for Bitcoin. Okay, so imagine. Let's go through one potential scenario. Let's say we know what's going to happen. Let's say Ethereum emulates Bitcoin, which there's a good chance it won't, but let's just hypothetically live through this scenario. So if it does, then we're looking at essentially Ethereum from its prior all-time high pumping 113, 114, 115% over the next 3 weeks. So then let's go look at Ethereum. What would that look like? If Ethereum were to pump 113% over the next 3 weeks, you're essentially looking at a $3,000 Ethereum by the end of February. So, if someone says just never sell, tell that, so there are a lot of people that took that advice in early 2018 and then sincerely regretted it. Who regretted it? All right. Anyways, so I do think that that over the market cycle things will trend up much higher than they currently are. As I've said many times, I think the market capitalization at the end of this market cycle will probably be around 10 trillion, plus or minus a few trillion. What's a few trillion among friends, right? Right now we're not even close to that. We're not even close. We're at a measly 1.14 trillion. So theoretically speaking, the entire cryptocurrency market capitalization could go up another 10x over the entire duration of the market cycle. So if you don't care about living through some dumps, which you'll get dumps in a bull market. You'll still get dumps in a bull market. We saw plenty of Ethereum dumps last bull market. If you don't care about that, then don't. It's not as big of a deal. Right? If you don't care about living through this, then it doesn't matter. I'm more so speaking to all the new people that bombard me every day with what's in accumulation mode. So let's just live through this scenario. I mean, if Ethereum were to pump to say 3K in the short term, and you saw this spectacular blow off peak, maybe it goes above 3K. Maybe you see a wick up above it. Maybe it doesn't quite make it to 3K. But if something like this were to happen, and then Ethereum were to emulate Bitcoin, so imagine it emulates Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a nice correction here, about 30% or so. And if Ethereum, we know that Ethereum volatility is more than Bitcoin's. So imagine it were to go up to some, around this level or something, and then it were to dump like, 50% or something. The altcoin market would get completely wrecked during that time. And then, of course, the major coins, the more worthwhile coins, can quickly recover and potentially continue on. But a lot of coins will get completely wrecked. But anyways, let's not be all dreary the entire night. Let's actually watch the markets. Obviously, things are trending up right now, which is a good thing. Hopefully, we can. We saw Bitcoin put in its prior all-time high at 20K. Ethereum, it broke 1,500. Obviously, the prior all-time high was around 1,440. ADA's prior all-time high was at about $1.38. So it still needs to go up about 2 to 3. I mean, more than 2x, but maybe like 3x or so from the current price. Not quite 3x. So a 3x by ADA would put it above its prior all-time high, and so that would be quite something if it is able to reach that level. You can see it's trending up fairly quickly, right? We're at 48 cents now. It looks like maybe it actually hit about 49 cents. Let me zoom in here. Let's look at, say, the hour. Yeah, it looks like we had a wick to around 49 cents, just around 49 cents. Link is still trending up. It's at 26.56. This is, again, one of the ones I'm the most bullish on in terms of the duration of the market cycle. How will we remember this market cycle? We're going to look at Link and be like, you know what? It's already more than an order of magnitude above its 2018 peak. How many coins can say that? There's not a lot of coins. I mean, for ADA to be an order of magnitude above its 2018 peak, it would mean that its value. I mean, it would mean that it would be, again, its 2018 peak was what, like 138, so it would already be at 1380. Obviously, you can't compare it exactly because the market capitalizations were completely different. It's a lot harder to move ADA because the market capitalization was much higher than it was for Link. But again, I mean, Link is one of the few coins that's an order of magnitude above its 2018 peak. If we, and again, Link is one of those coins that behaves in really weird ways. One of the things we can do, we need to pull up a different exchange here. So let's go with Binance. So, and we'll actually pull up a couple different charts. Let's also pull up the Link Bitcoin chart. So here's the Link Bitcoin chart. We are still not back in the exponential fit bands. You can see this was our first major Bitcoin bubble since Link has been around, except for the very first one. And this is how it behaved. And hopefully it can get back on course, but it trending up exponentially against Bitcoin is certainly not going to last forever. So Link USD. One interesting thing about Link USD, and measuring peak to peak is probably not the best, but we're going to do it anyway. 200% over 500 something days. Again, 300% over 400 something days from peak to peak. Shortening cycles increasing returns. Peak to peak, let's say it took 300 days and went up maybe 400%. Again, that would put it at around $100 link. Okay, and we discussed this. We discussed this potential, this theoretical outcome, even when it was down here, right? Even when it was down there. That's why so many people got mad at me, because they saw this wick and they're like, what the hell's going on? You said Link was too risky not to hold, and here it is dumping. Well, my friends, look at how quickly the times have changed. So now, the last peak happened in August. Okay, so the last Link USD peak was in August. The last, and the one before that was in June. Okay, so August and then June. Now, this one, if it's 300 days or so, it might be in June as well. Maybe it's a little bit less. Maybe it comes in May or something. I could see something like that happening, because one of the things we need to note, and this is why I think holding Link is worthwhile, is because it tends to not react in the same way as a lot of other coins. There's a lot of times when Bitcoin isn't really doing much of anything, or and it's not even bullish, that Link is bullish. So I feel like if there were one coin that I would maybe project could help improve your risk-adjusted returns even in the event of a dump, I feel like Link would help. I mean, obviously, if Bitcoin capitulates or something, Link's going to have a knee-jerk reaction, but I actually don't think that it would necessarily prohibit Link from continuing on higher, even if the price of Bitcoin were to trend down. I mean, maybe it would come down in the short term, but I still think there's a decent chance it could ultimately trend upwards if history is any indication. So as far as Link USD, it's been a pretty bullish trend over the last couple years, and I'm excited to see the next, each and every bubble as they come. You can see that Link Bitcoin is such a great asset to trade against each other. They just keep having these peaks against each other, and this is something that we discussed a lot on the channel back in the summer, and trading. I traded a lot of Link, as I told you guys back then, to Bitcoin at that level. And then over here, I was going from Bitcoin back to Link, right? I mean, at the time when it was $8 or $9, you're like, oh, what the hell? Like, why would you do that? This is why, because you see how quickly the times can change. Alts are dead until they're not, right? Every cycle, every damn cycle is the same thing over and over and over. Bitcoin runs, it runs longer than you think it will. Everyone claims altcoins are dead, and that Bitcoin dominance is going to go to like 95%, and then it doesn't, and then altcoins are alive again, and then people come into the market, new people come into the market, and watch YouTube channels, and they're like, why buy Bitcoin when you can buy all these other random coins that no one's ever heard of, and I'm going to buy it because it has a cool name, and those things are going up 100% in a day, and Bitcoin's just not doing anything, right? It's just sitting at $37,000, and basically been range bound between 30 to 38K for a month now. So then people start thinking, okay, well, why buy Bitcoin when everything else is going through the roof? Okay, well, my friends, in the same way as we discussed before, don't fall into the trap. Don't fall into that trap, and then don't fall into this trap where you think you have to sell that and buy that. You have to reverse your thinking, right? Reverse the thinking. So, if you felt in Q4 like you did not own enough Bitcoin, and you were like, man, I should have had more Bitcoin because I'm watching Bitcoin go up 4x and my altcoins aren't doing anything. If you see Ethereum, the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation doing something like, if you see it doing something like this, well, this would put it at $3,000 Ether for a $38,000 Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin were to stay invariant, which it won't, but if it did at 38K and Ether went to $3,000, this is the level that it would put it. The reason why that might be somewhat important is because if you look at our prior levels, let me switch over to a weekly time frame, because I think this is actually really important. I meant to include this earlier in the video on Ethereum 3K projection. Look at this. Look at these bottoms here. So Ethereum basically nosedived down here and ultimately bottomed there before bouncing. This is also where it bottomed here before bouncing up. And you can see that once, let's look at our current levels here. This level right here, I mean, theoretically speaking, right? I mean, this might just be clear skies. I mean, it could be clear skies ahead. You have to consider that this might be clear skies. I mean, look at this, right? I mean, it just dumped here. It just completely dumped through here. So in the same manner, we've kind of worked out all of the kinks in here, systematically going through each market structure period. A top here, and a top here. A bottom here, and then the bottom here. And then a double bottom here. There's a lot of symmetry. There's a lot of symmetry here. And, I mean, this is where we dumped from here. This is where we came back up to right here. So there's a lot of symmetry. And then once we broke this, if you say go backwards, it was up to that level. Up here. So if it were to come up here like this and go into a manic bubble, and you see the price coming up into this level, these levels up here, I would say, I'll say this now because when I say it at the time, no one's going to want to listen. But I'll say it now. If you see that happen, then you have to likely recognize that there will be a reckoning, right? There will be a reckoning again, and Bitcoin will take the reins. Remember, Ether tends to do really well against Bitcoin in Q1 as long as Bitcoin holds above the 20-week moving average. So as long as Bitcoin's above the 20-week moving average, then there's a decent chance that Ethereum will continue to run against Bitcoin. That's an important point, okay? If Bitcoin stays above the 20-week, it's likely clear skies for Ethereum. Likely, I mean, this is not financial advice, right? Nothing I say you can take to the bank or anything like that. As long as Bitcoin stays above this level, which, by the way, right now ranges from 21,868 to 24,218, then I think there's a decent chance that it's clear skies ahead for Ethereum. Now, you can always have short-term dumps that cause knee-jerk reactions of Ethereum's price, but as long as it recovers and stays above it, it's fine. So as long as we see that happen, then a decent chance it's clear skies for Ethereum. We could come up to these levels. I know it seems crazy. It's possible. It is possible that happens if Bitcoin is able to stay above its 20-week moving average. Yes, this is live, Jason. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I do answer questions to the chat, Jason. Now I've answered 2 of your questions. I've answered 2 of Jason Feller's questions. Is this live, and does Ben answer questions to the chat? All right. So, if this happens, if it comes up to these levels, all the way up here, the day of reckoning will be close if it's not already happened. Okay, if it hasn't already happened by this point and we get to this level, I would say the day of reckoning's close, and maybe it means we come back down in the short term and then continue up later. But just keep that in mind. Ethereum, Bitcoin, it shifts back and forth, right? It shifts down and then back up, and then down and then back up, down, back up, down, back up. What comes after back up? Down. The key is, when is it going to turn down? In the same way that we broke out of this channel to the downside over here in December, we could easily break out of it here and continue up. The main indicator, as I said before, will be Bitcoin staying relatively healthy. One thing to consider is, if you take a measured move from when Bitcoin left the 20-week in March of 2019 to when it tested it here in September of 2019, it was about 156% over 182 days. So if you go from this point, from when we left it, and you go up, say, 156% over 182 days, that would put you at the beginning of April at sorry about that. So let me do this again. 56% over 182 days would put you here, beginning of April. So if Bitcoin holds above the 20-week until April, at least, then there's a good chance it's clear skies ahead for Ethereum. And by the way, this is somewhat loose, because you could argue that we were already above the 20-week here, and that really it should go back to this point. And if it did, then we would need to draw this back 2 more weeks. So that would take it till, say, the end of March, potentially. So again, I mean, I think Ethereum is in for hopefully a good short-term move. Momentum is on its side. It doesn't seem like we've had a blow-off peak yet for Ethereum. What I would be looking for, again, would be, several $100 moves in a day, right? Like back-to-back almost. Like, you wake up one morning and it's up $300, and then the next day it's up like $300 again. Things like this. Obviously not exactly that, but when you see market conditions like that, and again, this does look pretty similar to Bitcoin. These 5 candles, right? You have this one here. It was 28% up for Bitcoin. This one was slightly diminished, right? It was 15%. And then it had this nice wick here, this nice weekly candle with this major wick that was fairly significant. If you measure from the bottom of the wick to the top of the wick, it was about 19% for Bitcoin. And if you do the same thing for Ethereum, it was about 40%. So it was basically red, green, and then this third green out of this pattern is what broke through. So far, Ethereum's up 25%. On Bitcoin's 5th one, it was up 23%. And we expect Ethereum volatility to be higher. So if this continues, right, then, I mean, you give Ethereum another month or so. If this trend continues, right, I mean, it certainly could make it to 3K if the trend continues. Johnny says his wife claims all you do is watch charts. Well, my friend, I'll tell you something that'll make it worse. This is just from one guy to another. What'll make it worse is if you spend 4 months looking at charts, watching your portfolio balloon, and then you watch it come crashing back down without ever having taken any profits. And then you have to explain why you were basically absent for 4 months and also don't have anything to show for it. How's everyone doing tonight? Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Turn on your alerts. By the way, we do, again, I'll remind you guys, we do have the premium list sale, alt season sale. We'll keep it going for maybe about 10 more days. If you guys want to sign up, you can find the link to it in the description below. I'll also post it in the comments. This is what I'm using to navigate the markets. If you want information on how I'm doing it, also weekly reports, weekly videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the risk dashboard, a whole lot of stuff. Make sure you check it out. Also, we have a Telegram channel with over 14,000 people. If you guys are looking for a community, I'll post that one in the chat as well. Euron says, never seen a single ad on your videos. All other YouTubers do. Don't you want to make some extra dollars from YouTube too? No. Is there a PayPal option for the premium list? Yeah, you can actually join it at Patreon as well. I think you can pay with crypto, or pay with PayPal there. Post it. All right, we gotta watch Link. We gotta watch it. 26.33. Let's see where it trends. ADA's at 48 cents. DOT's doing well too. DOT's at 20.68. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on Ethereum. It's a good thing. So there's going to be days here where Ethereum's not trending up. Treat it as it's actually a good thing. It might sound weird, but it goes back to what I said earlier. Ethereum's blow off peak will likely it'll likely indicate the end of alt season. So if you are looking at altcoins right now, you probably don't want Ethereum to go up too quickly, because if Ethereum starts going up too quickly, it might be an indication that the party's almost over. Okay, so I would say let's be patient. We have nothing but time. I mean, this could go on for weeks. It might be over tomorrow, but let's be patient. We want to see Ethereum go up, but at the same time, if Ethereum is sitting still, it gives these other altcoins. I'm not considering Ethereum at all, but it gives altcoins a chance to make their own moves. Why don't I put ads on my YouTube channel? Because I don't want to waste your time. Other YouTubers predicting a 5K Ethereum. It's possible, right? I mean, it's certainly possible. I mean, it could go to 4K, 5K. Again, these blow-off peaks are really hard to know exactly where they're going to stop. Yeah, really hard to know. One thing to consider is that Bitcoin went up a little over 2x from its prior all-time high. It's possible Ethereum goes up 3x, right? Certainly possible. We're not going to discount. We're not going to discount anything. So I would say that. I mean, 5K is getting pretty high. I don't know about 5K. I mean, 3K seems kind of reasonable. Maybe 4K, but you can bet that if we have like a 4K, 5K Ethereum, I'm gonna be having the stop limits set like crazy. So we'll see what happens. When would the end of that market cycle be? In my opinion, I mean, I think cycles are lengthening. Obviously, that gets a lot of flack during market conditions like this. If you fast forward in 6 months, we're going to have a much better indication as to what's going on, right? We're either going to be trending up to several $trillion. Like if we're trending up to say $5 or $6 trillion in a short period of time, then it's likely they're not going to be as long as I think. But at the same time, we're still only just over $1 trillion, and a lot of the data that I look at suggests that we could go up to $10 trillion, plus or minus a few trillion. Right? What's a few trillion among friends, right? I mean, so theoretically, I think the entire asset class could go up another 10x during this market cycle. I think it'll take longer than 10 months. A lot of people will tell you it'll take 10 months. These are just differing opinions. We'll take it one step at a time, right? You guys know my thinking, my theories on this. But at the end of the day, right, if we're looking at a $10 trillion market cap in December, then I'm probably running for the hills out of crypto at that point. So let's just take it one week at a time. Of course, my theories are outlined fairly well, I think, on the channel, and we'll see what ultimately transpires. If cycles are lengthening, does that mean bull runs are lengthened as well? It's possible. I mean, it's also possible that this cycle is completely different and that the bull market is broken up into several ones. One interesting way to look at this is what if, I don't know, right? I'm not going to claim that I know. But what if it does this, right? If you draw and you look at, say, the cycle in terms of this view. What if it does something like this, right? And then trends back up later to our final blow off peak. It's a possibility. It's also possible it just comes up here in the short term, says to hell with lengthening cycles, and puts in 6 figures sooner, and then comes back down, right? So the data certainly suggests it'll take longer. How did I get to my projection of a 10 trillion market cap? If you go to my YouTube channel and type in Bitcoin, the beauty of mathematics, I put out a video at the beginning of every month. That should explain it. No, I'm not going to turn music on. You can just turn your own music on. Someone says still accumulating crypto or just chilling. I'm just chilling, man. I'm not accumulating it. I'm not accumulating it here. At some point, I feel like at some point you have to stop, right? I was accumulating up until about 5 weeks ago. I think the last time I bought was, well, maybe 4 weeks ago. Maybe around 4 weeks ago. I think 4 weeks ago, I think, was the last time I bought crypto. Is my laptop fan really that loud? Yeah, my crypto bags are packed. I need to unpack some of them soon. Someone asked where would it be if it came down to the bottom of this channel. Well, if it did it like this, it'd be 25K. The only reason I say that is we've looked at the inter-market cycle fractal and the intra-market cycle fractal, right? So if you look at this fractal from the bottom to the top, it would obviously argue a more bullish case, right? This would obviously argue, say, a more bullish case. It would also predict a $300,000 Bitcoin in 10 months. I don't think that's going to happen. If I had to be wrong about something in my life, I would love to be wrong about that. If we're at a $300,000 Bitcoin in 10 months, I'll happily be wrong about that. The other pattern is the more bearish short-term pattern, but still bullish overall, and that would be taking a measured move from here to here. And whoops, where'd it go? Oh man. Let me remove that. So the other pattern would be this one. Let me make it a different color so you guys can see it. So like that. So that would be the more bearish pattern, but still ultimately bullish. And then the yellow line is basically, so the yellow fractal here represents essentially what most people who believe in, say, that we will not have diminishing returns. So there's a lot of people that think that we will not have diminishing returns and that we will ultimately see a 100x from cycle bottom to cycle peak, just like we saw last cycle. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to go to 300K by December. I don't. But so basically, the price of Bitcoin is ultimately not going to follow either of these fractals, but it just shows you kind of what's theoretically possible, right? What is theoretically possible, and obviously you have to figure out what you think makes the most sense, and potentially go with that. But certainly both have their merits. I guess I'm just more cautiously optimistic, right? I think that Bitcoin will ultimately trend higher, but well, we'll see. I mean, if it happens in the short term, so be it, right? So be it. One thing I thought would be interesting, which we don't really talk about, what if it did something like this? What if the price came up here and then came back down, but then didn't go back in the regression band and then came to the peak came to the peak regression band a second time? What if it did something like that? I think that'd be pretty cool. It would actually emulate somewhat this cycle, but this cycle did not make it to the peak. And so far this one hasn't either. So this one hasn't made it to the peak yet either. By the way, for it to get to the peak regression band, which is only fit to 3 data points, so it's not exactly the most sound fit in the world, it would need to get to between around 56,788 up to 83,693. Sorry, we have some spammers in the chat. Gotta take care of them. No, I can't play the soundbite of my son saying buy Bitcoin. They're sleeping. My kids, 2 of my kids are sleeping about 10 feet away from me, right behind that wall. So I'm trying to be quiet. Make sure you guys subscribe. Let's go for 107,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. And remember, we have the Telegram channel that you can join. And then also the premium list sale, if you guys are wanting access to the premium content. We'll let the sale go on for about 10 more days or so. So DXY is bouncing here. So, this is the reason I'm so cautious on Bitcoin right now. I would fine if it goes to 50K in the short term, great. The reason I'm cautious is because DXY is bouncing. This is the same level it bounced at in early 2018. So I would say keep an eye on DXY. If it continues to trend up, that's going to make it hard for Bitcoin to put in new all-time highs. If it comes back down, then the sky is the limit for Bitcoin, so theoretically speaking. So I would say keep an eye on the dollar. The monthly or the premium list provides the risk levels, and I tell people how I'm navigating the risk levels for A lot of the different coins that I follow. Do I stake any of my coins? Yes. Yeah. You know, people talk about these other YouTube channels, like, you know, they're giving these sky high price predictions on every coin. These guys will, you know, when the markets dump, these guys will be like, well, you guys got to know it's risky. But when the markets are just flying, they'll just keep saying, you know, everything's going to go up 5 more X, 10 more X. Of course, if you think about it, maybe that's the dumb money we need. That's how we cash out. Oh, by the way, um, just so you guys know, not all channels, but there are a lot of channels that you guys might watch where they shill a different altcoin like every 5 hours. A lot of times these are paid promotions. The reason I know that they're paid promotions is because I get approached all the time to shill altcoins for pay, and I say no to every single person. So a lot of times they're shilling coins that they were paid to shill, and oftentimes they were paid in that currency to shill it. I'm just letting you guys know what the truth is because I've been offered many, many times to shill altcoins, and I've never accepted any of them. It's not worth it, right? It's not worth. You know, what's the point of selling out? There's no point. It's just we gotta. I'll tell you my opinions on the market. Sometimes I'm sure I'll be wrong. I mean, I've been wrong in the past about some things, um, but at least you know I'm telling you what I think, and it wasn't paid for by the highest bidder. Someone says the only altcoin I shill is Bitcoin. Yeah, Dogecoin is ridiculous. I mean, it's because Elon's tweeting about it, but it's just ridiculous. I don't own this coin. I don't, but I mean, you know, watching it go back up to the top 10 or so, it's hard to not at least look at it. I mean, yeah, I mean, if polls about the dollar were always right, that think about this. Okay, think about this. Like people, you know, someone just said, okay, the dollar, people are polling that the dollar is actually weak and that it's going to turn around. First of all, I would agree. There's always a good chance it turns around, but the general population, polling the general population historically is not a good measure as to what's going on. If you had polled people back in early 2018, everyone was saying that Bitcoin was going to trend higher, and they just kept saying buy the dip, buy the dip. Ethereum went from 1,400 to 1,000. People said buy the dip. They were saying buy the dip till it went to $80. Okay, polling the general population can often, especially in a mania phase, it can actually be a counter indicator as to what's actually going to happen. Um, so, you know, and by the way, again, as I've said before, back in March, so many people were calling for like the next Great Depression. Where the hell did that go? The same guys are now just saying, you know, oh, everything stocks only go up. Make up your mind. Do I have an ADA accumulation chart? I mean, I do, but you're not going to like it, right? I mean, because as far as I'm concerned, it's no longer in accumulation territory. Um, Here it is. I said it's in accumulation mode against Bitcoin. This was my range. This was my general range. We made an accumulation video on ADA way back over here. Several of them saying this was the time to buy. And even when we came back over here a few weeks ago, we said, all right, reload. Um, hopefully Ethereum is able to move up to the top of the next band, which is around 2,700 or so. But anyways. Is my fan really that loud that you guys can hear it? Well, it's a laptop. What am I gonna do? It's a laptop. Maybe what you're hearing is that NASA shuttle's blasting off to the moon. You see that in the on the wall? Maybe that's what you're hearing. It's just liftoff. The thing is this isn't even a cheap laptop. This is a ThinkPad. This is a pretty nice computer. It's a Lenovo ThinkPad. This computer or this laptop was a pretty nice laptop, and it's only like maybe 5 months old. I don't drive an '04 car. It's an '07. No, it's a ThinkPad from 2020. It's a 2020. I have a microphone. Here is the microphone. Can you hear me better now? Was that really that much better? Maybe I should just move the microphone closer. Maybe I'll move the microphone like right here, and we'll see how it goes. All right, goodbye. All right. I mean, what else are we going to talk about? We already covered the market. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, the main coins that we follow are Bitcoin, Ethereum, DOT, ADA, and Link. We also talk about Uni sometimes. It's up 35%. I know you guys wanted me to talk about this one, Aave or whatever the hell you call it. Um, I mean, I missed the boat with it on. I mean, you can't win them all, right? You can't win them all. But if there is a market, like like a strong correction or something, then I might consider adding this one to the portfolio. But I'm not going to chase it now. But it's one. It's certainly on my radar for the future. Anyways. Do I see FOMO trends in the comments? I mean, I think we're definitely in some level of a bubble. The hard part is knowing when it's going to pop. This could go on for several more weeks, right? This could go on for weeks before it pops. Or it could be over tomorrow. You simply don't know. And that's the reason why I'm not buying at these levels anymore, because it's too hot for me. The market is too hot for me to be buying. I still have a lot, but I'm not buying right now. And it's because I think we're in we're in some level of a bubble, and I don't know how high it's going to go, but I don't want to keep throwing money into the market right now. But I'm happy to let what I have ride, and I'll take profits along the way. But what is the peak for Bitcoin this market cycle? I think it'll be between 100 to 200K. This is my guess. I mean, I could be wrong, right? I mean, that's my guess. It's somewhere between 100 to 200K. I think it'll actually be closer to 100 than 200 if I had to guess. But if it's not, I'm not going to be that surprised. I mean, I think it'll go up over the longer term. I just don't think this cycle it's going to go to like 500K. Maybe I'm wrong. Solomon says he thinks it'll peak between 20K and 300K. Yeah, I mean the premium list is basically just weekly reports. That look like this, with some custom charts. This one was on Bitcoin dominance. This is the one I typically show, basically showing that we're getting close to the time where it should be theoretically turning around. This one's about a month old. You can see it was published on January 2nd, and Bitcoin dominance was coming back up to the upper part of this channel, and the dominance trended up for a few more days. We know that Bitcoin peaked on January 8th, I believe. So you can see the dominance was getting close. So this is one of these are the types of reports that you'll get every single week. And then there's a video to go along with these reports to talk about the risk levels and whatnot. So yeah, this is just one example. And then you also get the alerts channel on Telegram, where I actually talk a lot about other markets too. And then the risk dashboard. I can't keep showing the risk dashboard because then it defeats the purpose of the people who actually pay for it. But you can go back in another video and probably see what it looks like. Basically, it's just a way of sticking to the math and having a plan. Having a plan is better than not having a plan, at least. ADA's starting to trend up here, so we need to watch it. Let's see if we can go back to 49 cents here. I will say this though, whenever we do get another bear market, whether it's in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, whenever it is, that's not the time to leave. That's the time to focus on what coins to accumulate. We spent over a year discussing, the key coins to accumulate, and we used modern portfolio theory, the Sharpe ratio, the Sortino ratio. I told you guys that my top 5 many times over the last year: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT. And Link, ADA, and DOT have climbed the ranks. They're 5, 6, and 7. Really, they're 4, 5, and 6 because we should not count Tether, a stablecoin. They were not here that long ago, so they've climbed the ranks. Hopefully, they're rising to be the cream of the crop. So my dream is for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT to make up the top 5. That's my dream. Basically, what needs to happen is they all need to flip XRP. Oh, I should not say that because that's what my kids don't like. But anyways. The reports come out every week. No, I'm not drinking. That's not Coke. I'm not drinking Coke. Can I teach the Ethereum rainbow indicator? I mean, you can make it yourself, man. It's just this equation. This is the natural log of x. So it's that equation. So x is days, and then a and b are coefficients. It's really not that complicated. I mean, these are not that complicated. Where do you put in the equation? You go down here to Pine Editor, and you need to learn how to code in PineScript. But if you know one programming language, then it should be fairly straightforward. I mean, it's very different than other programming languages, but if you in general you know how to code, you can just read the PineScript manual, and it's pretty straightforward. Imlaw says, how do I reconcile a $10 trillion market cap with a $100,000 Bitcoin? Well, it could go to 140,000 or maybe 200,000. I mean, I think the altcoin market will grow, right? I mean, I think if the Ethereum market cap will grow. I think it'll come from a lot of other places. It's not like Bitcoin's the only thing in crypto. The dominance of Bitcoin has dropped 11% in about a month. Right, you can see the Bitcoin dominance here. Let's pull it up. So this is the dominance. It's been dropping like a rock, right? So keep an eye on it. Kind of had our little double top. Would I ever stream on Twitch? I don't think my content is really Twitch material. I don't think there's many crypto people on Twitch. Do I accept crypto as a form of payment for premium? Yeah, if you just go to intothecryptoverse.com and then you click, if you scroll down halfway through the page, you can find a button that says pay with crypto. Of course I accept crypto. What kind of patzer would I be if I didn't? What's a chess term? We used to, do you guys remember the bear market? I would play you guys on stream. I would play people in chess. You guys remember those days? Was anyone here when I would stream chess and play some subscribers? No, I'm okay at chess. My elo's around 1700, I think. I'm not. I'm not like a master or anything. How is the new car? I guess it's okay. I don't drive it. It's for my wife. What is my prediction this cycle for Chainlink? Um, throwing numbers out is often not that great because in a bull market, everyone just wants to hear higher and higher numbers. Um, I don't know. Maybe if you, I don't know, $100 to $300. I don't think it'll make it to 1,000 by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised to see it go up another, 5 to 10x over a couple years or something. Yeah, it was a Subaru. Honestly, I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive her car because I don't want to mess it up, and I don't want it to be my fault. So I just stay away from it. I'm not a Subaru guy. My wife is. But whenever my car dies, I will be driving her old 2001 Subaru. So then I guess I will become a Subaru guy. We bought it. No, Patreon and the website are the same thing. It's the same thing. Did I say my wife is a Subaru guy? I mean, I'm a Subaru lady. I don't know what I said. We got a 49-cent ADA coming in hot. Let's see if we get to 50 cent. What was my thesis on? I've said this many times. It was molecular dynamic, or it was radiation damage of ceramics using molecular dynamics simulations and in situ transmission electron microscopy. Um, does your wife follow crypto? No, she does not. I can't believe I said smash the like button earlier. Oh my gosh, someone just reminded me of that. Uh, the reason I started this stream was to hopefully see a 50-cent ADA. If we see a 50-cent ADA, I'll probably sign off. if it's not working, if the website's not working, it's probably because there's too much traffic. You can just go to the Patreon one and it'll work there. All right. Litecoin thoughts. I'm not a huge fan of Litecoin, to be honest. It basically just it bleeds against Bitcoin cycle over cycle, but it does have some nice patterns that you can flip some Litecoin back and forth to Bitcoin. But generally, I think $1 into Litecoin is a pretty big opportunity cost of not putting it somewhere else like Ethereum or something. Steampunker, if it doesn't work, you can sign up using Patreon. I don't know why it's not working. Maybe I know it works on mobile. The only reason it might not be working is if there's a lot of traffic trying to access it at once. What altcoins am I bullish on? The same. The main five I talk about on my channel, the main coins are just Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT. On the premium list, I mention a couple others occasionally, but those are the main five. Someone says finally ADA's doing a little something. Come on, man, this has been one of the best performing coins. It was less than 2 cents in March, and now we're flirting with 50 cents. It's like a 25x, more than a 25x, because it was less than 2 cents in March. No, we don't talk about leverage trading on the channel. It's too risky. And I don't understand how the people that show their affiliate links to leverage trading, why they think that's an okay thing. Do I study the technical aspects of blockchain before I put money in a coin? Yeah, but we don't talk about the F word on the channel, fundamental analysis. We mainly just look at the price. If you just signed up, you should get a welcome email within a few minutes. Check your spam or promotions tab. All right, we're at 49 cents. Let's see if we can put in a 50-cent ADA. But I'm not buying. Let's make that clear. I'm not buying ADA at these levels. If you guys want to buy it and put it to 50 cents, that's fine with me. But I'm happy to just watch this thing go up. Yeah, I probably should get another chair that doesn't squeak. But you realize how many Satoshis that would cost me? All right, 49.3 cents. I just bought a Subaru. Yeah, it was a lot of Satoshis, but I have 3 kids, and we needed a car with 3 rows. So it is what it is. Lucas says he's scheduling his Forbes interview this weekend. I've told you guys not to schedule them quite yet. All right, 0.494. 0.495. Are we doing it? Are we taking it? Are we taking it to 50 cents? Chris says, how many smashes of the like button for a new chair? Maybe not smash it. Maybe gently press it. Let's say I'll get a new chair if we get to 1,500 likes. The reason I'm saying that is because I know we're not going to get to 1,500 likes because there's only 1,300 people watching, and we already have 800 likes. Nah, we're not going to get to 1,200. And I'm not even going to mention it again either because I don't want to encourage people because I don't really want to go get another chair, to be completely honest. All right. Let's actually focus on this because if we get to 50 cents, I'm probably just logging off anyways, well before we get to that threshold. So we're at 0.494. We have a little bit left to go. Let's actually zoom. What are we doing looking at 1 hour charts? Let's look at 1 minute chart. $4.95. Let's see if we can do it. A 50-cent ADA. By the way, again, remember, by Bitcoin and Ethereum staying still, it's likely good for the when Ethereum starts moving, it has a way of detracting from a lot of altcoins. If Ethereum stays put for 2 or 3 days, this is generally good for the altcoin market as a whole. I mean, obviously that applies to Bitcoin, but someone says I should draw the 50-cent line. It's right here. You guys want the anxiety chart? The 1 second chart. Here we go. This is our home. Hopefully we can make it home. Maybe we should draw our house. Of course, this is a 1 second chart, so it doesn't really take that long to move along this. Let's draw our house right here. Maybe we can make it home by this time. Yeah, so TA on a 1 second time frame is mainly up to house and garage patterns, which we covered. I hope we make it because I want to go to sleep. Actually, you know, do you guys remember watching the live stream yesterday or 2 days ago where we had this house? I don't know if for probably most people don't care about this, but we had this house and I drew the moon. I drew the moon up here. Like when we were over here, I drew the moon right there. I just missed it. We just missed it. But you could argue that the moon, you know, it orbits. So maybe by the time we got up here, it had shifted positions to be over here. But we came pretty close. All right. Let's see if we can hit 50 cents. All right, let's look at our 1 second TA. I don't know how to draw this. You like this? We'll draw a garage. Oh, wow. We have a spammer. Goodbye. $496. Oh. Wait, did we just... I mean, it looks like we did it, right? $4.99. We just hit it. And it went above it for a second. Hey, we did it. We made it. We just hit 50. The wick took us to just over 50 cents. There it is. 50 cent ADA. What a journey, what a journey. That's at least the 25x up because we covered it less than 2 cents. So 2 cents to 50 cents would be 25x. So, yeah, 50 cent ADA. I mean, yeah, it's nothing to get out of bed for, right? I'm not claiming you should get out of bed for it. I'm just noting that we have a 50 cent ADA. I'm not going to leave until we see how the price interacts with our house and garage. Well, we made it. We made it to 50 cents. I'm just gonna see what happens when we get to our house. Let's see what Link's doing. Link's 2641, so it's still chugging along. Looks like the local top is, or the global top is around this level. Ethereum's moving slightly. I mean, it's a 1640. Sorry, I'm not super talkative. I just ready to head bed. Someone says he loves my house. It's a modest house. It's not. It's nothing fancy. I'm not getting any chair. I said 1200. I said 1200, not 1000. And we're not going to make it to 1200 because I'm going to log off before that happens anyways. I'm just waiting to see what happens when we get to our house. All right. Maybe we don't. Maybe we go around the house. A lot of times we go around the houses. See, when you start to get Ethereum and Bitcoin moving, it's not good for alts. Like, I mean, Ethereum's back up to 1642, Bitcoin's at 37.2. They've gone up slightly over the last couple minutes. So you really want to see these not do anything, right? All right, if we don't hold the line, I'm going to bed. If we come down here, going to bed. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Link, it's at 2665. It's doing things. Oh, my kid woke up. link is approaching $27. I mean, I'm wanting to see a $30 link for sure. I mean, I want to see a $35 link, $40 link. It's nice to see it moving some. Keep in mind that if Ethereum and Bitcoin start moving, it's not going to be good for other coins to, a lot of the coins we follow anyways, to explode. We want them to stay, we want Bitcoin to stay still, right? We want it to stay still. You can see Ethereum's moving a little bit at 1645, Bitcoin's at 37.3. $4.98. And we already broke 50 cents, so we can at least say it was a good stream because we broke 50 cents. Alright, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream tonight. We've been going for almost 2 hours. I'm about to stop it here after, well, when we see what happens here over the next minute or so. I'm about to stop it, but thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Look at that, in the garage. Maybe we'll come back out. I'll just post the different links in case you guys want them. Alright, right into the garage. Told you guys, house and garage. House and garage TA. What else do you need? What else do you need? And there it goes. Oh, wow. Ethereum's moving. It's at 1650. If Ethereum starts moving too quickly, it will likely put a pause to ADA, but if it doesn't move too quickly, it's fine. Alright, yeah, I'll draw a moon so we can come back tomorrow and see how well it played out. But I need to switch over to like a 1 minute time frame. So we will draw our moon. Let's draw it here. We'll see what happens. Look at this. I mean, we're approaching 51 cents. House and garage TA. What more do you need? It didn't even park in the garage, it just blew through it. Yeah, Ethereum and Bitcoin are moving right now. Bitcoin's at 37.6, Ethereum's at 16.56. So look at that. Look at that little wick. ADA's almost at 51 cents. It looks like it briefly went to 51 cents. Maybe we should watch Ethereum. We're going to keep an eye on Ethereum, because wouldn't that be cool if we watched it break 17? I mean, I need to go to sleep, but... I know I can sleep in the bear market, I know. Temp Mouse says, what's a few hours of sleep among friends? I miss sleep. Does anyone remember the good old days back in 2020 when we could sleep? I hope to do a live stream in the not so distant future of a $1 ADA. I mean, if the entire market gets even more manic than it is now, it's certainly possible. Someone says it's hard to plow snow and watch my videos. He just keeps running into snow piles. Yeah, why don't we check out the ADA Ether pairing? We haven't done that in a while. The one thing to remember is that historically speaking, it tends to peak at around this level, which we're not even close to right now. I mean, this pump went above this level, but certainly once it reaches this level, if it reaches this level, you should be exceedingly cautious. The premium list is the same thing as Patreon. It's just a different way to sign up. All right, I think I'm gonna go because I don't want to get to the leg threshold that I need to get a new chair. But it looks like the market looks pretty good. Ethereum is at 1655. Link is at 2658. ADA is at over 50 cents. That's pretty nice. It's over 50 cents. ETH or Bitcoin is still looking good. Hopefully clear skies ahead. If Bitcoin doesn't do anything crazy by either dumping or putting in a new all-time high, then hopefully the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is clear skies ahead. But anyways, hopefully this video has been informative. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. Our house and garage TA has been helpful at identifying where we moved above it and continued on. This was just a fake out, right? Just a fake out. Some people fell for it, but we knew. It was all about the garage. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. I hope to catch Ethereum breaking 1700 on live stream, but you can't win them all, right? You cannot win them all. So let me post the final links back in the video. So if you guys want to join the Telegram channel, I will post that. And then we have the premium list sale, which I'll post that too. I've seen a lot of you guys ask questions about microcaps, so I'm going to post a microcap chat into the Cryptocosm. You can go talk and shill your microcaps away in that chat. And then we also have a chat for equities. If you guys want to go talk about GameStop and all that stuff into the equityverse. I'll post that one as well. All right. Yeah, I'm about to go. I just don't want to miss this. Alright, if it breaks the trend line, it's bedtime. I mean it this time. Well, ADA never broke it, right? We said if ADA breaks the trend line, I'm going to bed, but then it held it. Fortunately or unfortunately. If Ethereum breaks this, I'm going. I'm leaving. This is going to take too long. Actually, I might rescind that statement. I don't want to be up another 30 minutes, potentially. See, the thing is I'm going to turn the stream off. I'm going to go to bed. And like everyone else, I'm going to pull up my phone and check the price. and then I'm like, ah, damn it. It looks like ADA's coming back down a little, actually. Whew. See? You don't want Ethereum to move if you want ADA. I mean, these are short enough moves that you can't really make too much of a claim, but... Alright, let's just call it. So it's about to break. If it goes down, if I see it go below it, it's bedtime. Alright, let's go below. Let's drop. Let's drop like $2. Okay. The nice thing about this trend line is that it goes up fairly quickly. So even if the price were to just go sideways for a second or like a minute, it would fall below it. All right, here we go. Anyone want to take profits and let me go to bed? I think we're below it. All right, it's bedtime. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. I better get going before I have to get a new chair. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I guess we'll see you guys next time. Yes, this is the 1 minute chart. We will see you guys tomorrow. See ya.